All right, gang, it's that time again. 50-50 showcase, playing some City of Heroes on the homecoming server, Excelsior Shard. I'll be showcasing 50 different builds from my level 50 characters. This is number 21, Juliet. She is the first defender of my group here. I have done blasters, I've done brutes, controllers, and corruptors. Now we're into letter D, the defenders. And number one, Juliet. She is water blast, she is traps, and psychic. Psychic mastery. That is one of my favorite mastery sets for defenders and corruptors. You've probably seen me play it like 3 times now. The big power I love in there is Mass Hypnosis. It is this nice auto hit power. You're going to see, you've seen it before, you'll see it again. It's in my build. Let's talk about builds. Let's take a look at what I've got for us. From Mids, we have, let me pull it up. There we are. All right, here's Juliet's build. Level 50, fully incarnated, slotted up with all these beautiful IOs. What's the deal? What are you doing? What are you trying to pull off here? As you can see, I've got lots of defense, right? Lots of defense is going on. Let me turn off my incarnates first, just so it doesn't seem misleading. Click these off. Click, click, click. There we go. Makes it a little more realistic. But if you take a look, I've got, 40, 50, 60% in some cases of various uh, defensive powers. Where am I getting all this stuff? Well, the biggest defensive contributor of all time, I think, from a very any one individual power, is force field generator for traps on the defender buff scale. So if I turn it off, you'll see what it does. Without it, I'm in 22, 22, 40. With it, I'm getting 43, 43. So it's like a 20% defense boost with just that one power. And it's not just me, it's everybody on my stinking team because it's this big old AoE bubble machine that follows you around with a bunch of defense. I'm combining that with some other defensive powers. Let me switch this over, right? We've got combat jumping's giving us some defense. We've got stealth giving us some defense. Maneuvers giving us some defense. So if I take a look at these powers individually and start turning things off, you'll see without them that my defenses begin to drop, drop, drop. So without those powers engaged, my defenses are actually pretty trashy. I do have some energy negative and range defense from power sets from the set bonuses, but it's this combination of FFG, combat jumping, stealth, maneuvers, and two of those powers, maneuvers and force field generator, are adding defense to the whole team. So if I turn them both off, you can see 17.5 on smashing the lethal. So if I activate them, I'm going to get about 5% or so from maneuvers and another 20%, like I was saying, from force field generators. So what's that? 25% defense from just those two powers, not just to me, but for the whole team. Okay? I mean, you can't beat that, right? This is a great build for not just self-protection, but for team protection. Although this is the first traps I'm going to show you, traps is really all about debuff, believe it or not, given those FFG defense numbers. But it's debuff, right? It's damagey stuff, believe it or not. So take a look. You got Caltrops is my first power here, and I've got that puppy 6 slotted with pacing of the turtle slow set. We're gonna slow it down for the enemies. I'm gonna be nerfing the crap out of their movement speed with just Caltrops. Okay, Caltrops all by its lonesome is going to drop speed. What is that? 50,000% jump speed. I don't even know what that even means, but run speed minus 160%. Devastating, devastating, devastating. And they're going to start bleeding out just from all the little damage ticks. And you're going to have a chance for recharge slow. So that's always a nice little something, something, right? You got that in there. So this is a great little power just to kind of throw in there. You drop it at your feet, you drop it at your enemy, whatever. That's going to be nice. The other thing you're going to see with my slotting and power choices, I've gone with Water Blast again. I think it's my third character with Water Blast because I love it that much. I think it's a great set. But Notice what I've done. Check out Whirlpool. Another pacing of the turtles slow set. I think you know where this is going, kids, right? Caltrops plus Whirlpool equals pretty much a hold. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be wanting to get away, but they can't because the Caltrops are poking their little feet and they're screaming, ow, ow, ow. They're running slow. You got Whirlpool, similar to Caltrops. It's just swirling around. It's going to be slowing them down. It's going to be damaging them over time. It's cold damage. And it's also chewing up their defense on top of that. So these two powers, 1, 2, just keep chucking them out there at your enemy's feet. They are going to want to try to get away from you, but they can't because they're going to be moving so slowly. Whirlpool's numbers are what, minus, 20% movement speed or something? I don't know. They're going to be at the movement speed floor between those two powers. That is really the one of the major themes of this particular build. Combining those two placeable mats of slowness and damage at the feet of the enemy, and you could be right in point blank range because you got so much defense with your FFG and the other stuff I was just talking about that you're really not that in danger. Throw in your incarnate stuff, right? I've got, let's see, where do I have intuition. That's going to give me some hold, defense debuff, range to hit debuff, damage, and slow movement boost. So let's click that on there. That's going to make these slow powers even more devastating. I mean, come on. You can't get any slower than this. I dare you to defy that. I've got diamagnetic, which is going to give some minus to hit. And am I not showing this? Hold on. There we go. Scoot it down. I've got diamagnetic. Also, this is going to give me some minus to hit, which is going to team up nicely with my high defense. So that combined with all the defensive stuff I've got, I mean, I'm not going to get hit barely at all. And the only potential problem I have is the sleep hole in the force field generator. But force field generator has resistance to holds, immobilize, stuns on top of everything else. You click your support core. Check this out. When I put on the support core hybrid, my defense numbers go even higher. Check that out. Look at that. I go from 43% smash lethal to 55. Energy negative 77%. Are you kidding? Look at that. Melee, ranged, and AoE 43, 61, 44. They go up to 55, 73, 56. That's just sick levels of defense. Ageless Radial, that's going to give me some recharge, some endurance, because I'm going to be consuming a lot of endurance with this build. And I do want my placeable powers and stuff to come back as quickly as I can. So I have that beautiful thing. I also took the debuff resistance side of the pyramid there. Because, if I get defense debuff thrown on me, that sort of thing, I want to be able to counteract that with some ageless clicking. So really, that's kind of the main thing here, right? I mean, Water Blast is going to blast, but remember, Water Blast gives slows, a lot of them, and it gives minus defense. I talked about that combination when I was showing you my Blaster Midnight Zone, and I was hypothesizing at the time what a build of just slow stacking would be for him. The actual build for him, if you remember that video, I think it was like the third one I made. He was focusing on some defense debuffs, some slows and such, but he wasn't just fully going towards slow. This character is much more slow focused with the Caltrops, the Whirlpool, and then you throw in your intuition slows here. Plus, you've got a lot of minus defense debuff that you are going to be proccing with all your blasts. Aqua Bolt, when that procs, you're going to do what, minus 5% to hit, minus 10% regen it's got going. I mean, come on. Hydroblast, you're lowering to hit, you're debuffing defense. I mean, this is just going to stack up all of these debuffs from all the blasts. You got all that minus to hit, you got all the minus slow, you got the minus defense. You've got your high defense yourself, your own mez protection, and then you got just these blasts that are going to be firing out. I've got the Defender ATO set here, Superior Defender's Bastion. That's a chance for minor PB AoE heal. I also have healing in the form of where is it, Dehydrate Blast Power. That's nice because Traps doesn't have its own heal. It does have Triage Beacon, which is a regen buff, but straight up heals, you're going to rely upon those couple powers. I've also tossed Geyser. I have Absorb Chance. The Vigilant Assault Superior set is sitting there in Geyser. I've got what? I have a bunch of these just Thunder Strikes because they do give you the ranged defense with 3 slotted. Acid Mortar. This is a great minus defense, just chewing power. So I've got that bad boy, minus resistance, minus defense. You place it, it starts shooting out little mortar bombs of acid that just erode your foe's defense and resistance. That's going to increase your overall ability to damage and do damage. Here's Triage Beacon, like I was saying. This is your regen. I did also throw in the Panacea plus hit points and endurance proc. I know a lot of people don't know that this is a PvP set. It does, don't argue with me, you're going to see it. It does trigger through your Triage Beacon. You will get plus hit points and endurance from Triage Beacon, okay? It's going to work. Trust me, you'll see it. Poison Trap, same kind of idea. It's a placeable little trap. It's got the +2 mag, so I drop that. Point blank range, boom, it explodes. A bunch of people start choking out. +2 mag, I'll be able to hold bosses with it. I mean, that's just going to be sick when you see that. And remember that I've taken the intuition that has the whole duration boost on it on top of that. So I'm going to get some pretty sick, amounts of holds with Poison Trap, just with all that stuff added together. The hold time looks like, what is it, 9 seconds of mag 3, 8 seconds of mag 2, whatever. Seeker drones, I've got the cloud senses. That's going to be some more minus to hit, and it has a chance for negative damage. I think that one procs. I'll have to double check it because there was something I remember that wasn't procking that I thought should, and it might be the Seeker drones because they might be auto hit, and it might not proc the chance for negative damage. I need to check that. Keep your eyes on that during this test here. Other than that, I've got all these powers that you've seen me use before. Traps is the new thing for this character, and traps, I love the set. Uh, you know, Web grenade, time bomb. I don't need those. Time bomb's not that great. I really don't need trip mine. I kind of don't like it anyway. The interrupt on this is freaking glacial. I don't know why it's still so bad. I mean, what does it take? Like, you got like 4 seconds of interrupt. So for 4 seconds, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. As you're placing this thing, any damage you take or whatever breaks you out of the animation, and you've wasted your endurance, and you don't freaking place it. And even if you do place it, there's no guarantee somebody's gonna step on it and blow up anyway. So I don't understand why it's being penalized so heavily with the interrupt. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't even take interrupt sets. Let me confirm that. IO. Yeah, see, look, it doesn't even take interrupt reduction sets. So why do you have a power that has interrupt, but you can't reduce the interrupt? Okay, this is not some God mode power, people. Can we please change, either get rid of the interrupt or make it so you can at least slot for interrupt? I don't know. Something. All right, other than that, Traps is a great set, and the thing you're going to leverage here is just the high defense that I've been able to get with all these different toggles and such, combined with the slows and just placing these traps at people's feet. I have stealth, so I'll be able to sneak right in there. I've got mass hypnosis, so I can sleep the targets and then jump in there. So it's a really safe set. It's great on teams as well. I think you'll enjoy it. So without further ado, let me go ahead and pause the vid, stop the vid, and get some solo action going against the council.